Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Free Agents Podcast. Back for some more pre-agents as we continue on with the Duel 2, episodes 5 and 6 today to talk about lots of couples drama. Some couples that are real, some couples that are fake, some couples that want to be real, lots of that. Plus plenty of more eliminations and drama along the way. Of course, I'm Matt here with Brian Scally. Scally, what's up?
Oh, hello. I'm good. I'm excited to be back. Feels like it's been a little bit since we got to record one of these, so I'm very excited.
Oh, peek behind the curtain. We banked an episode and then we took about a week away to for me to go somewhere, and now I'm back, and now we're back, and we're back in the duel, and just hitting the ground running here. So just where we left off, obviously, we've had a lot of heat on Evan throughout the season. I will say, as we get to episodes 5 and 6, I feel like that heat has the stove has been turned down a couple of notches, and we're really looking at other people in the house, which to me was pretty welcome, just to get other people involved in the action here.
Agreed. Yeah, I think it was time we move on. I'm still okay with Evan's feet getting held to the fire a little bit, I don't want that man to have a free pass in anything. But I am ready for more storyline.
Yeah, over the course of these two episodes, again, it's going to be a lot of couple drama. Specifically, in episode 5, it is the story of Brad and Tori and their relationship problems throughout this season, playing the game while being an engaged couple, and how they're both navigating that. And then more so in episode 6, but kind of it's been a consistent throughout the season, we've been watching Paula and Dunbar and their friendship that maybe Paula wishes was more, and then introduce Kimberly into the equation, and how she's interacting with Dunbar and whatever's going on there. So just a lot of trouble in paradise.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we definitely said I think this is going to be more of a Paula breakout season. And I think at times she's sat back a little bit more than I expected. And at times, I don't know if I always want it to be a Paula breakout season. So we'll discuss as we go.
I mean, I guess I'll just go to the final note in my notes from today, which says, "Is Paula okay?"
No. That's a fact. That's not doesn't even need to be a question. But it is rather annoying Paula this season.
And it's just so funny. I think you've said this recently, of just like, I feel like most of us come away from Paula's time on the challenge as fans of Paula. I think like I have always felt like I like would yearn for a Paula return, and that doesn't have to mean that like I'm not a fan, whatever. But just like watching some of this stuff along the way, I'm like, wait, when do I actually start to be like, I really like this person, not just like, oh, what a noteworthy character she's becoming.
Agreed. I definitely think that I will discover at times that there are people that I enjoyed because the show told me to enjoy them, or there are times when I enjoyed someone from their Real World or Road Rule season and then just had blinders on for their challenge run because I'm waiting currently for the
Yeah.
fun Paula to pop up.
Yeah. Again, this is more so going to be the story for them in episode 6, but episode 5 does have a little bit of Paula and Dunbar. The drama here is that Dunbar has not been rooming with the guys, like the main alliance of guys. I guess we're talking about the Brad and Marks and Landons of the world. And so he's been hanging out with Paula a lot. He doesn't feel like he's in the best spot in the house within that alliance. Paula is very happy that Dunbar's been sticking by her side because, as she says, she's got the Paula plague ever since the situation at the beginning of the season where she went out of order and everybody was starting to hate on her. The heat's also been taken a little bit off of her, but not all the way. And so, as she's pointing out, Dunbar has still given her the time of day, whereas a lot of other people haven't.
Yeah, it's hard. I get why she would want Dunbar by her side, but if she's looking to advance in the game, she really should see more merit in what he's saying about being in that room. Dunbar actually has his finger on the pulse of the game, which I did not remember being a very common thing.
Yeah. He talks about, what he's thinking through as far as like being worried about Landon, which we're also going to get the same from Evan. Big theme of the season here is big, bad, scary Landon. And how can we get him out before the final? But
Uh,
Dunbar's definitely thinking about it.
should be a theme every time Landon's on a season. So
Very
get
much
that
so.
that man out of here.
Well, I don't know that I want him out of there, but the rest of them should want Landon out of here. I like to look at
I'm
Landon.
fairly neutral on Landon.
He's very pretty.
Fair enough. But yeah.
Except the mohawk didn't work for me when that
No.
was going on.
Okay.
But he doesn't have it this season. Anyway, Brad is having a birthday party. Eric's birthday is a couple of days away, so it's kind of a combined birthday party here. As we opened up the episode, we've got some stripping. Anissa, Isaac. Isaac ends up like basically naked. There's a big blur going on for him, and we're having fun.
Yeah, I don't know that that Big Easy ripping Isaac's clothes off is okay in this year in terms of challenge procedure, but no issues seemingly in this date and time.
No. Isaac is going to be the big story, or I should say, a big story of this episode, for a reason that I will say I did not remember. I need you to tell me, with your better challenge knowledge than I have, was Isaac and the saga of the toenail something that you remember deeply?
Oh yeah, this goes on for like 3 more seasons.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have any memory
Oh,
of this.
wow. Well,
Not a single memory. This is so absurd,
why did I believe
and
you? I know that Isaac's only on one more season and it's not for a
that's
long time.
that's why I was like, do I even exaggerate with 3 more seasons? But it worked out. So yeah, Isaac only back once more, but maybe it's because he could not risk the health of his toenails moving forward. He is a weird guy, which I knew very obviously, but I didn't remember in exactly what kind of weird.
Yeah, Isaac has been growing out a toenail, one specific toenail, his big toe, for he says 4 months, and he's really proud of the toenail. But while he is passed out on the couch, a classic challenge move, everyone's going to draw on him. They draw cat whiskers and a cat nose, which is like not the worst thing people have had drawn on them on a challenge. But then the worst thing possible happens is that Landon comes by and is going to cut this toenail while he's asleep. I am impressed that he was able to sleep through that. But regardless, when he wakes up, he wants Landon's head on a platter until ultimately Isaac's elimination in this episode. He is going to spend every minute wanting Landon gone.
It's so bizarre. I mean, definitely drunkenly passed out. Not that shocked he slept through it. I think that you could have punched Isaac in the face and he wasn't getting up.
Yeah.
I think that it's very tongue in cheek. I think part of it's real, part of it's fake, and Isaac is like in on the gag. But because at points it's been 4 months, it's been 6 months. You don't do this to a man who's been over 6 months. Like, okay, what is it? I think there's obviously like at 6 months, like is it like making holes in your shoes? I'm very confused. I think that is a health concern, but I am just kind of in disbelief that this person exists, and this is an edit that a challenger had gotten for a very large portion of their run, at least half their run on the challenge.
I'm so intrigued also because again, I already spoiled if you're not watching that Isaac is going to leave in this episode, but just to cut ahead, he comes back one more time in the challenge. It's not until 8 seasons from now that we're going to see Isaac again, which I'm like, what is that? Just like an early like, hey, we're not doing all stars yet, but let's call people that we haven't seen in a long time. And somebody was just like, remember that guy with the long toenail that got really mad at Landon? Like, he would be great to have back. I know that you flagged up that they might have thought Isaac would be like a bigger character, but like then they don't have him back in any of the upcoming seasons. I'm just baffled by this man.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's not like I thought Isaac was the star of his real world season or anything, but he's definitely involved. I think that he is kind of a weirdo. I kind of look at him a little bit as a mellow Abe.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they were looking for some type of weirdo here to replace Abe, but I don't think it really works out.
Not so much. Let's talk about Anissa and Ruthie. They are, obviously relatively OGs at this point, all things considered of who's left. And, overall, we can call them OGs. I think all the way forward to their time on All Stars 1, I remember some kind of scenes with involving the two of them. I don't think that they were like best friends. And you go all the way back to the season we're watching here in this episode right now. Ruthie is hoping that she can trust Anissa, that Anissa will in the safety chain say Isaac's name, who's going to then save Ruthie. Ruthie feels like that's her only chance at safety here. And Anissa is not telling her that she's going to do that, but also not telling her that. And Anissa tells us in confessional that she's not looking after Ruthie.
Yeah, this is so firmly Anissa, where it's like, I'm gonna protect you if I could do anything, and then someone says, "Hey, don't do that." She says, "Okay, no problem." So, like, I think it's very symptomatic of the Anissa we have known for years, and I'm always just on the lookout of, have these people changed? Are they the same person? I think fundamentally, Anissa's the same person.
No, 100%. And that's so wild to see just because we are 20 years later at this point. And I'm not saying that she like should be playing the game differently, but just her mindset of how to approach just different aspects of the game, including this one. It's wild. I'm like, this is the same person. Look at
Just
that.
like, I don't know, if she had literally ever, like, if it was like, okay, Anissa's not actually close with Ruthie, and so she's not gonna take her stand here, fine. But I just don't think Anissa really ever takes her stand, and that's why I'm kind of rolling my eyes.
Yeah. I think we let's come back to the Brad and Tori scene here because they're obviously going to be a bigger part of the episode. But the challenge here is going to be don't let go. I remember this one big time, mostly because of
Yeah,
DM.
I totally agree. DM is the standout here, and unfortunately, some of the men, Evan, are very annoying. So I definitely remember this one very firmly.
This is a bad challenge, just to be clear, because or I should say, a badly edited challenge. Really, like you have no idea what's going on any stage of it. They just show you everybody going. They show it's always the woman that is being held up. We haven't even described it yet. I'm sorry. They're in guy girl partners. One person is harnessed up and is basically going to plunge into a big canyon, obviously on a bungee cord. The other person is holding them up with only their hands. They're only connected by each other's hands, so it's purely like strength from the person up top, and I guess a little bit of what the person at the bottom can do to really grip onto them. And whenever you let go, the person being bungee corded straight down, whenever that person lets go is when the time stops. And they never told us the team's times as we were going, so it was just a guessing game.
Yeah. It was I don't know. I think as like a kid or a younger person, I don't remember exactly what year this came out at this point. I was just like, hee hee ha ha, they're hanging over the edge and this looks cool. And I think modern day, it's not as egregious as some of the like, and there's a monster truck and it's gonna crash into a regular truck and it has an airplane. And it's like, okay, I don't think it's that level, but it is simple enough while also being like kind of cool, kind of what if I was in that situation, where it works for me.
I mean, it's entertaining when you get to see the team's dynamics or the players' dynamics of like, oh, I'm afraid, like personality based, so that's fun. But just
Yeah,
like I have no idea who's winning until we get the results, and it is what it is.
true.
Can you also remind me of something that I know we talked about in the last part, but again, it's been a minute. The partners, we're all partners. Everyone's in a partner. That wasn't an official thing that happened on this
No,
season. They just are all working with a person that has been agreed upon.
it's almost I think a fault of the show because so many of the challenges are partner based, so they're going to keep defaulting to working with the same people over and over. And when that happens, and then there's a safety chain, they're going to keep picking the same people over and over, so they just refer to it as, this is my partner, publicly identifying my partner, you can trust my partners, you can trust me, pick me in the safety chain, we're reliable. It's just established at this point, if you pick this person, the other person's going to go next. And generally, that I feel like is looked at much to Tori's chagrin as, we're playing the boys' game and what girl goes along with the boy. But here we are.
It's just bizarre. I mean, to have the players invent a part of the game that doesn't actually exist. And so far, 6 episodes in, everyone's holding true to it. I guess, Dunbar has a decision to make in the next episode that we'll talk about that, like, maybe that could have changed, but everyone's just sticking to their partners, which includes Evan and DM here. And like we said, the big highlight of this challenge, because Evan generally seems like he's getting frustrated working with DM in a couple different challenges. And this one particularly, I don't know if he did actually just let her go because he was ready to not hear her talking anymore. But that's what he tells us.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the case or if he's just trying to look cool. But Evan, very annoying, very misogynistic in this stretch of episodes. I guess Kenny's not here, so gotta like really take it up. Even though I would always say Kenny again comes off more like he's joking, whereas I just read Evan as like a complete dick.
Yeah, Kenny will do it like quickly in like a whole like you're just a bitch or something like that, and
Yeah.
like that'll be it. But Evan like means it and drags it out and makes jokes about his misogyny.
Hmm.
Just comparing all the different misogyny from all these men. There's
There's
so
some
much to talk about.
types.
Um,
The men are
we-
so different. My curiosity about the partners is like, what happens, let's say, if like Rachel goes home and Mark stays? Is it just and then Derek goes home and Kimberly stays? Like, is he now partners with Kimberly and Kimberly jumps all these spots in the alliance? Is it like too bad, MJ, I'm still in Anissa? Like, what's going on? How does this partnership work?
yeah, I mean, I
That's what
guess
I
you
want to
just
see.
default to, if you go home but your partner stays, then your partner now just picks up the other person,
I don't
even
think
if
that's
you
always
have
going to
no
work
loyalty.
alliance wise, but
Yeah. Yeah. DM is just so scared of this bungee that as soon as, I mean, look, I'd be terrified too. What do you mean as soon as I let go? Like if I'm going to bungee jump, which I'm not going to, then just let me go bungee jump. Let me go, off and I know when it's going to happen. So the fear is just overwhelming for some of them, especially DM. And she just starts screaming up at Evan, don't you let me go. Don't you let me go. Don't you let me go. And Evan is like, I don't understand what she's saying. She's speaking gibberish, and it's hurting my ears. And she's like yelling up to him, like, if you let me go, you're gonna go in the duel. You're gonna go in the duel. And he's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go in the duel, then I don't want my arms to be sore. Bye.
Yeah, honestly, that is a point I do understand. Probably something you should think about. And I think Evan is the type of player to have that on his mind. And he's been called out so many times before. Why would he not at least think of the possibility? So, if you're not going to win, who cares what place you come in? I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah. The winners of this end up being Mark and Rachel. Shocker. They've been winning a lot lately, or just once. I'm looking at the table. This is now their second win, but they're always doing really well. Mark keeps talking about, I'm the oldest guy here and I'm still kicking all their asses, which is true. They did this, they held on for a minute and 45 seconds, which was 20 seconds longer than any other pair. So look at them go.
Yes, it is super impressive for sure. It is a little boring when the lineup just always is either Mark and Rachel or Landon and Brittany is starting us off, and they just save either Landon or Mark every single time. So, not the most exciting for a season of reality TV, but uh sure.
However, in these two episodes, I do feel like they were starting to, what I was frustrated, I know about in the recent parts of like, stop trying to plan out the whole thing. Just pick your person and let them pick it out. And if you want to talk to them about, the order or whatever, but that when they're sitting there just writing it all down, the exact order, I'm like, this is so stupid. And I feel like both of those pairs realize that as well, especially for their game reasons of like, we're getting all the blood on our hands. Let other people make decisions too and let things fall onto them.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think that they know kind of, well, it's not really going to make the biggest difference. I think they're still deciding it until the final two, three pairs. But we didn't decide exactly who's going in. So don't blame us. Blame each
Right.
other because you didn't pick each other and that's your fault.
Right. Let's talk about Brad and Tori. Let's get to these two crazy kids. Just got engaged before the season. With was it like an anniversary or something here that was happening, or just Brad's birthday? I think it was just that
I think it was just Brad's
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah. So we have Ruthie and DM that are going to go try to set up a romantic scene for them. I don't know about you, but flowers all over the floor, like ripped up petals of flowers all over the floor of my room and in my bed would have made me miserable, but that's what they set up.
Yeah, I get the what they were going for. It was attempting, well, we don't have roses, let's just take these flowers out of the backyard, but they looked like garbage flowers. Like they I don't know, it looked like weeds that had flowers on them almost at points, especially when it was zoomed out. It looked like they just took, I don't know, like the stuffing of a pillow and dropped it on the ground everywhere. So not the most aesthetically pleasing.
No, not at all. And look, they're just Brad and Tori so in love, regardless of the flowers or whatever. They're just gonna go, spend the nights doing whatever they're gonna do. But the
Whatever
game,
they're gonna do.
whatever they're gonna do. The game is really again causing waves for these two. They're talking through so many different scenarios. Who would this person call out? Who would that person call out? Big Easy, Derek. Tori keeps going back to this point about how the people at the bottom of the game, the bottom of the safety chain, are the ones that have all the power. She's not wrong about that. You can set the order to save your friends at the beginning, but whoever's going to go in that final male and female spot are going to pick who goes in, and that is more power than the people in the middle have. And so for some reason, that's really like sticking with her and wanting her to get off of this whole let's have a list planned out. Let's play this game a little bit differently. Brad wants no part of that.
Yeah, for Brad, kind of like, well, we're in this safe spot where we're not going to be at the bottom of the order. And if we start going rogue, we've seen what that looks like. Paula went rogue. She wanted to save her partners and her friends because it was better for her and not better for the team. And now look at where she and Dunbar are. For Brad, like, I don't need to risk that. We're in a good position. I question exactly what position. Like, are they in the final 3, 4, 5 teams? But Tori is a little bit stressed. It's seeming like her good friend Derek from first season, which, I mean, I didn't know they had a particularly close relationship, but at least they were on the rookie team together on the gauntlet, is seemingly at risk of going home. So she's getting a little stressed, but you just got to trust Brad's allies is all Brad's down for.
Well, I got to ask you, I mean, we've seen Brad compete on this show for years and years, and obviously plenty of seasons beyond this one. I feel like this scene was so like such a showcase of why Brad only has one challenge win and doesn't have like crazy big
Oh,
moves or moments to his name, because he just, I feel like, is always going to play safe.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say at this point, I don't think Brad has any challenge
No, I mean,
wins,
it's
and so
coming.
yeah. And why maybe Tori has more wins than Brad.
hmm,
But yeah, I think for Brad, I could see the like Tori, it's too early. Like, we can't make this move right now, and especially from Tori's perspective, Brad and Tori are saying this is their like final hurrah, their one last run out here. So why not make that big move and give yourself the best chance when otherwise you're running the final against like Landon and Mark and
right.
MJ, and like that
and
is
and they're
a
gonna cut
scary
you before
prospect.
that. Like he's
Mhm.
Paula. Paula took notes from watching Brad play over the years, where Brad is just constantly the fifth or sixth person on a list of an alliance, and he's always just like, let's ride it out and see what happens. And he's doing the same thing here. And I'm like, how have you not
Yeah.
learned? You have someone smart by your side that's helping you think about the game a little differently, but because I guess it would make him stand out from the rest of the boys, who he's going to go complain to Big Easy, and later, I don't know, he's complaining to MJ, just like, oh, I have to keep playing Tori's game. I have to keep like keeping her in check while also playing my game. It's like, well, maybe listen to her.
Yeah, I think it's not a great move where he is venting about things with Tori, but also like kind of exposing maybe Tori's not the most reliable alliance member for those guys anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of doing exactly what you're telling Tori you're worried about happening if she makes this move.
Yeah. And they keep talking about wanting to go home, like, because this game is so hard that they would just be fine if they just went home because they have a good life back home and this is stressing them out. And so why don't we just leave?
Okay, I guess go home. Like, I will survive
I'm not
personally.
I'm not begging you to stay. Just to cut ahead to later when we follow back up on this, they get into like a big fight about this, like an actual, not just like, oh, we're disagreeing, like, oh, we're actually fighting here. Brad says that he feels like Tori is being disrespectful. Everyone's doing we're all doing each other favors and we'll be screwing them over. She really wants nothing to do with the list. Brad goes low here, and she's talking like she's about to say that logic and reasoning are her reasons for wanting to get away from the list. And Brad says, don't say logic and reasoning because I don't even think you can define those words.
Ooh, not great. Yeah, I think most people online are not big Tory Hall fans. And I feel like that has been the case, not specifically based off of this season, but just as her run overall. I think it probably is more her later run, a little bit of a sense of entitlement that comes through. But I currently am looking at this like, I don't know that Tori's the one who's fully wrong here. Like, you should just at least hear her out, have the discussion.
Yeah. I feel like she comes into this game with less allies basically and more room to just see the board, the game for like what it is. And she also, even going back to the last season, was getting ready to quit because she doesn't take it that seriously. So she's still like wanting to compete, but I feel like just the level of like whatever happens that she brings to it, Brad really could use that, but he's not open to it. So
Yeah, for sure.
gotta take big swings sometimes. Anyway, so more on them to come. But we have a scene here with Brittany, Rachel, and Ruthie that I thought was pretty interesting. Two of our OGs, they were both there on Battle of the Sexes, Ruthie and Rachel, and definitely some tension in the air.
For sure. I mean, Rachel is trying to bullshit Ruthie, and Ruthie is not about to be bullshitted. Like, she can pick up, okay, as soon as Brittany is starting to hem and haw and starting to say, like, right? That's what she was saying, is an indicator that Brittany is withholding information, is lying, is feeling stressed. And so Ruthie's picking up, it's going to be me. I'm not getting saved. I am not high priority on their list.
Yes. Rachel, I think you said Brittany, but just
Okay.
clarifying in case anybody's not watching. Yeah, Rachel is really just like giving Ruthie all the BS. But yeah, I mean, look, no love lost between these two. It's I guess unfortunate because they're two OGs that really could probably benefit to have each other's backs. But Rachel found herself in a really good spot this season, that she just has a lot of allies by her side. Mark, especially being like her number one, her partner, and he's got a lot of allies. So she's in a much better spot than she was on the island, if nothing else. And she doesn't need Ruthie. So it is what it is.
She says like Ruthie is one of her biggest competitors here, so looking out for Ruthie when it kind of doesn't behoove her to game wise and like setup wise, and then also definitely doesn't in terms of the final, is not a great move. It's not as if I think she and Rachel have ever been like that close, that they've maintained contact throughout the years. They've never been like the strongest of allies. So yeah, I know you, but not worth it.
Right. We get to the safety chain here. Mark and Rachel are going to pick Landon, as mentioned earlier.
What?
It's just just back and forth. Landon goes to Britt, to Evan, DM, Brad, Tori, MJ, Anissa, Big Easy, Jen, Derek, Kimberly, Dunbar, Paula. So Kimberly picking Dunbar ended up sending Isaac in. She picked between the two. Isaac is going in. Dunbar picking Paula sends Ruthie in. Isaac and Ruthie were partners, as far as they were concerned. So
Yes.
The two of them being isolated here and not selected is not surprising. But the big story is, of course, that Anissa did not pick Isaac, which screws Ruthie over, and Ruthie is not happy.
No, not very happy. I do find it also very interesting that Dunbar and Paula are consistently the final team picked. Like, connected enough to get saved every time, but it's like almost a ritual punishment where they have to make sure that Dunbar and Paula sweat it out until the final picks.
Yeah, I mean, Derek McRae kept talking about, I'm getting towards the bottom of the people that are eligible to be saved. And if Dunbar and Paula's numbers are coming up soon as well, I wouldn't be surprised. Like it's very clear where the order is, and you have to win if you are on the bottom to not end up as the new last, possibility.
Sure.
Anissa told us she wasn't going to save Ruthie. So, no surprise there, but I guess there was also some intrigue here because was Tori going to do what Brad wanted or not? But she does. She follows the list, the order, and she picks MJ. So, that's they're going to keep playing together.
I don't even think things change that much. Like what? Okay, Tori saves Derek, he saves Kim, and then what? Does Kim just save Easy anyway, or MJ? Like it doesn't change all that much, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would say, definitely not. But the principle of it all was getting to the two of them. Ruthie is going to select Kimberly for her elimination opponent. Kim was talking earlier to Isaac about how she was like pretty sure she was going to get picked. She's still, she's a rookie, obviously. She's still a smaller person in there. So seems like an obvious person to pick. And they're going to be facing each other in Back Off. Kim's not thrilled about that because her hand and arms hurt after that last challenge. But Ruthie versus Kim.
Yeah, that plus she's just not the most physical person in the world. So not ideal. Kim is smaller than I remember. I used to think that she was like, okay, yeah, she's not the most muscular girl, but at least she has some height. And I don't think that's the case anymore.
I mean, I would say she's probably like a little bit taller than maybe you would have expected, but like if you're thinking she's much taller, then yeah, definitely not.
No, I just thought she was like a tall girl, and I would not throw the hashtag tall girl at her.
Sure. Isaac is going to pick very obviously here after we got a couple of confessionals along the way since the beginning of the episode about how Isaac is just so mad at Landon for clipping the toenail. Isaac is going to pick Landon to get his revenge on him. They're going to be playing spot on. Landon does have a confessional here being like, not to be egotistical, but was that Isaac's best choice?
Yeah, it's not. The thing is, I understand it because I don't think this is about the toenail. Shocking, I know. I think this is about, well, I can't beat Landon in a final, so I may as well take a shot at the power structure here, at the biggest threat in the final for me. And so I understand the motivation, even if I think it was probably an overestimation of his abilities in a elimination anyway.
And look, I appreciate that. Nehemiah Davis did the same thing by trying to take the shots at Evan. So,
For
people are
sure.
trying to take swings. It's just they're not landing. Landon, you might say. Haha. The duel here is Isaac versus Landon. They're playing spot on, which is the same puzzle elimination that Evan and Davis faced off in earlier. I don't remember if we've seen it again since. Landon and Isaac. No, that's what this one is. Where they have to fill in the puzzle pieces, but also be mindful of when a puzzle piece goes in, that eliminates a handhold or a foothold along the way. And this is a pretty easy win for Landon.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh my God, Isaac is keeping up," and then they zoom out, and like Landon has his whole board done, and Isaac has nothing. So I think maybe for the first singular piece, Isaac kept up, but then very quickly thereafter, Landon, bends him over and spanks him.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd watch. I don't get
okay,
the I don't get the vibe that Isaac is like the worst competitor we've ever seen. Well, obviously not. There's plenty of people that clearly fall into that category. But just hasn't been the most impressive showing this season overall. So
I mean, can you name 3 moments from Isaac this season?
one of them was a secret scene where he was like singing or whatever to himself. One of
Okay,
them was when he was basically naked at the party at the beginning of this episode, and the
okay.
second was about 10 minutes later when he got his toenail clipped. The
Okay, I
third.
think the only 2 things that I really would have come up with, especially, even next week recording, would unfortunately be Isaac's toenail and Isaac does blackface, and I think that is, like,
Oh my god, I
the
forgot
only
about that.
things that, unfortunately are going to stick, and so I really don't know why we ever felt the need to revisit Isaac.
Yeah, 8 seasons from now, absolutely insane of a layoff. If we like, please, someone out there hold us accountable to remember to ask us that same question again when
Yeah,
Isaac pops back up to name anything about him. It'll
exactly.
probably just be the toenail. Anyway,
Mhm.
he says give him a year and a half and he'll come back looking like Landon or Megatron. So we'll see.
Well, we give him, 8 seasons, and I don't think he looks like Megatron, so
Probably not. Ruthie versus Kim in Back Off.
uh-huh. Now, this is not Kim's favorite game. She's not the most physical, but Kim has a decent strategy here where you have to get the carabiner off the person's back and hang it on your personal ring. Ruthie, very scrappy, goes right in for the kill, not realizing that she's giving Kim the perfect standing under her own ring.
I was so shocked. Ultimately, just I'm cutting ahead. This is going to go Kimberly's way here. And I oscillate between Kim and Kimberly. I don't know about you, but like they call her both, they name her both.
I do the
So I
same.
just never pick. Anyway, I was fully expecting this to be a Ruthie win. I'm just like, Ruthie is this really good competitor. She's always had that reputation. We're like setting up this Rachel versus Ruthie storyline. And I guess I just forgot that Ruthie, has an even bigger next episode. But yeah, I was shocked when Kimberly got this win.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Ruthie is just very tiny, and I think tried to make up for that fact by playing very aggressively. But the first round absolutely hands it to Kim. Second round, Kim just kind of pulls her under into the same exact spot, even though Ruthie didn't fall for it exactly. Ruthie never really stood a chance here.
I wonder if Kim beats Ruthie in any of the other eliminations. I feel like the elevator I give to Ruthie.
Mm-hmm.
Back push over, I would give to Ruthie. I think that the strength
Mm-hmm.
she was trying to show here would benefit her there. Dual pole dancing, toss up.
Ruthie, no question to me.
Okay. And am I missing any? I don't know. This one was probably her worst case scenario, and she got it.
Yeah, I do think it's the worst case scenario for her, unfortunately. I just think it's a tough draw. I think
Yeah.
it's a tough draw.
Ruthie is done until All Stars. That's it.
Yeah, I'm okay I I don't know. I think Ruthie has one great season, and that's kind of it.
Which is wild because I just feel like when I first entered the challenge fandom and I was watching all the seasons for the first time, I was just like, I don't know why I thought that Ruthie was like such a bigger name, and shows up on All Stars and I'm like, oh my God, Ruthie is back. Like, that's crazy. And then it's like a quieter season for her. And also, like, she had some stuff going on in her real life, personal life. And so, yeah, I guess like at the end of her run here, I'm not feeling like she's this huge challenge legend like I thought she was, but she is still somebody who has a pretty good resume. There's fear of her when she comes back. I think maybe it's the biggest problem that she's had in these later seasons is like a lack of connections with really anybody. She kind of seems to keep to herself in real life while the rest of them are all hanging out together.
I think for Ruthie, it is that she is an extremely memorable, rootable underdog for a lot of people. She has, I would say, a singular stronger season than most people have under their belt. So that's a big help. I think she's a huge character on her real world season, and maybe not like the best ways, but very memorable. So it's unfortunate. I think Ruthie is someone who I think we see more on All Stars, unfortunately, like does struggle with alcoholism throughout her run on the challenge and through life. So always rooting for Ruthie to get better and like have the support system she needs at all times. I don't think the challenge was fully her place as much as, at times it seems like she found success.
Yeah, it'll be a while before we get to All Stars 1, but when we get there, I will be interested to really refresh myself on how her reappearance into the challenge world went. But yeah, Anissa's glad she's gone. Again, they will both reconnect on All Stars 1, but that's a bit of a ways away. We already talked about Brad and Tori. Again, they were, on the same page as far as the way that Tori decided to go in the safety chain. They had a really rough patch there, but at the end of the day, you can tell that at least, actually, let me say, you can tell that Tori loves Brad. Brad still looks like he's somewhere else when he's interacting with Tori.
I think that's just Brad.
Could be.
I don't know. It was funny when Tori was like, "You made a commitment that you would stand by me through like mistakes I make, and I made a mistake, Brad." It's like, when did you make vows? Like, I am confused, but sure. And I don't even really know what Tori's mistake was. I think it really is, like, if you want to say that would have been a mistake, okay. But I think Brad just needed to allow the conversation to happen rather than shutting it down.
Brad's talking about how they're opposites, but they complete each other. And, just knowing what we know that cut ahead all these years later, they do not work
Uh,
out.
no,
Maybe, the opposites did not attract here. So,
no, and I don't think it was like a particularly pretty dissolution. So
no, not that it like I
allegedly.
don't know the details. Yeah, all allegedly, but they did have kids by the time that they split up. I don't know how many, but not the most love between the two of them by any means. Whatever, we'll get there. Maybe. Not really on the show, but
I don't
well,
know.
Brad's on the show around the time that the divorce was happening, so I think he talks about it a little bit more, but not for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 6, let's shift into another couple that's not a couple, but one
Ugh.
of them really wishes that it was a couple. Paula and Dunbar. They're really just always by each other's sides. Paula is always antagonizing him. She's telling him, oh, someone no, she says everyone here hates you, but she won't tell him who, because she just wants to rile him up, and he can't stand it, but he's also never not by her side.
Paula's so annoying in this season. It's really painful because you see that she like kind of isolates her ally Evan, but it's more through like gameplay reasons, and then is boohoo, no one wants to stand by me. All the guys are betraying me. And it's like, yeah, I'm on Paula's side. Like, that's true. And then she has one ally in Dunbar. And Dunbar, from what we see, is very nice to Paula. Like, I've not really seen too many issues. They get in like some spats, but it's pretty mutual in terms of what's getting thrown in back and forth. I feel like Paula has always been shown to be the instigator here, be really poking and prodding. I love making fun of Dunbar. I love getting him riled up. I love making him feel like absolute shit, and trying to break up his relationship at home. I feel like Paula has been just like kind of the worst in this stretch of
It's
episodes.
it's very, the stereotypical like boy or girl has a crush on the other on the kindergarten playground, so they're being mean to the other instead of admitting the crush. Now, Paula's doing both. She's being mean, but she's also firmly admitting the crush. She is, Dunbar says basically that she has asked for it a handful of times throughout the season. And Paula opened up the season saying that she's always been trying to make something happen
Yep.
with Dunbar, but it never has. And maybe this season it will. Still hasn't happened. It's rough look for Paula because it's like for the rest of us, it's like he's clearly just not that into you like that. And if he were, by now something would have happened. But as far as we can tell, nothing has happened. Both of them seem to, she still seems every time to want it to happen, and he's firmly saying that it hasn't. Mind you, Dunbar is in a relationship. If we didn't already say that.
Yeah.
And also, mind you, there's another woman out here that Dunbar might be more interested in than Paula, and that's Kimberly.
Yeah, it's so cringy. Like I don't know when people have like relationships and they go on the challenge and they cheat and like you're the other person. I don't know. It happens so often on the challenge. I'm kind of just like whatever. Like I wouldn't be like, how dare Paula? But when she is current actively like trying to initiate and like I want you to cheat on your girlfriend. Like, I want you to do this. It's like, this is such a weird look. And then to get so jealous when he then just cheats with someone else instead, I just am actively really cringing. And, we'll get to a point of, will Dunbar betray Paula? And I'm like, he should. You should do that. Betray Paula.
Yeah, the Kimberly of it all here is that Dunbar is basically like, well, if I was single, then I would hook up with Kim. He obviously has eyes for her. Paula is very aware of this. It seems like the whole house is very aware that Dunbar and Kim are really like in the way that Dunbar and Paula are always just like hanging out, being friends. Anytime that Dunbar and Kim are together, people seem to like really just sense the sexual tension between the two of them. And Kim is telling us, Dunbar is just such a good friend. But again, everyone else is like, we know what's going on between the two of them. There's something there. Paula is trying to downplay how much she cares about this along the way. She's gonna like make fun of Dunbar about his crush on her, but also like you can tell with every conversation that the two of them have about her that she is making jokes and picking on him to kind of like mask how upset she is about the fact that this is happening, and he's very clearly choosing her from that romantic standpoint.
In confessional, she's talking to producers like jealous of Dunbar and Paula or and Kim, like never, like absolutely not. And then you cut to her in the house and she's like crying. It's like it is not a great look. It's just like pulling the covers off and instigating and picking fights and getting more mad about it. Like it is very obvious the denials do not work.
Yep. Dunbar is reassuring her, though, that he's her partner and he'll never betray her. So let's keep that
For
in
now.
mind. We'll see.
And to a point, like he's given her so many allowances, and when we end up in the episode, like if you ever are just this mean to me again, like I will not be your friend. Like I will not speak to you. Like you are the worst friend I've ever had, and I think that's so valid.
Absolutely. So elsewhere in the house, some of the guys are doing face masks. That's just how they're keeping busy and having fun. And uh-oh, what is this? A Big Easy highlight? Why is he having so much fun in this episode? Is he gonna go home? Maybe.
Oh no. Yeah, every so often where it's just like everyone's participating in an activity and someone gets the confessional talking about like, oh yeah, just like I'm fun and I'm silly. It's like, okay, well, you were fun and you were silly.
I mean, this is exactly Katie's episode from earlier in
Yeah.
the season. It's the same thing. So yeah, at least he's having fun for now. And then there's a conversation also with Derek and Kim, where we talked about this a little bit before, but Derek is realizing that, he's been towards the end of the safety chain. So he could be one of those outsiders sometime soon.
Yeah.
And maybe he will be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dangle Duo, this next challenge.
Yep, we got 100-foot ladder dangling in the air where you and your partner are going to have to climb up the rungs, increasing in distance as you get higher. When you get to the top, you have to hoist up a flag. If you fall off or fail to hoist up your flag within the time limit, you will be DQ'd. And varying levels of success we see here.
Yeah, we're obviously still in the challenge era where not that this is super different today, but like they used to talk about it a lot more of I want to go first. I'm sorry, I don't want to go first. I want to go last. I need to see the strategies. And even still today, that is a relevant part of the, challenge itself to see other people go and learn from them. But they talk about it in almost every single challenge here. So when Derek and Kim go first, and then Paula and Dunbar go next, I mean, you genuinely see each time gets shorter and shorter from the beginning until the end of the challenge. Derek and Kim did this in 18 minutes and 18 seconds, and then when you get to your winning pairs, they're both around the 4 minute mark and some change. So they
Yeah.
really figure out what they're doing.
I mean, it very much is just completely streamlined. You just, use the same side, boost each other up over. You don't waste time crossing the ladder, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, at first when Derek and Kim are doing it and they're just both trying to use their own upper body strength to pull them up, like I don't know if we've made it clear just how far apart these ladder rungs are. It's like a full human's body length apart to get to the
More
next ladder
sometimes.
rung. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Um,
it's out of reach. You have to, like, use the side rope or chain and also, like, help your partner boost them up, pull them up, and I would say most people work well together. Even Jen and Easy, who have a very difficult time, have, like, a great attitude. It's just, once again, Evan, who is like, "I got this screaming, crying baby that I have to push up. Like, I just wanna push her off." Like, okay.
he's the worst.
Sure. Uh, you could pick a different partner. Feel free.
You could. No one said you had to be with these partners, but he's probably, like, oh, I'm in this, like, people stop looking at me. I'm just gonna ride it out and do what I need to do, but I'm just gonna complain about DM in every confessional.
Yeah, especially
Um,
with DM being like, the audience's sweetheart, to constantly be villainizing her is, I think, a questionable choice.
yeah. You already said Big Easy, but just thought I'd mention for anyone that didn't watch that he was complaining about crushing his testicles along the
Oh,
way, which
yes.
was brutal to hear.
When he screams he crushed a nut, I did almost puke.
Mm, yeah.
Like, I just, I don't know. Like, secondhand harm, it
Mm.
hurts. I don't like that.
Paula and Dunbar, when they finished, she told Dunbar she's in love with him. She meant that, obviously.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you can, like, sneak in the truth. It's like, I was in
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
just competing.
Anissa and MJDQ, Brad and Tori end up doing pretty well. They end up with the fastest time after their turn, but then Brittany and Landon are going to go and they fly up this thing. They take the lead
Crazy.
in the time. Yeah, literally just like one step after the other. Brittany steps onto Landon's back, gets onto the next thing. Landon climbs it like he's, climbing a tree, and he's an animal made to climb a tree. And then Brittany goes up, and then Landon goes up, and then Brittany goes up and back and forth. Now, what got me confused here is when Mark and Rachel went, and they didn't do this same strategy at first, but they still did really well.
I think that's the difference, honestly, is where they split up onto other sides. I think that's where they lose their 11 seconds. It was definitely questionable. I think there are times in which, like, let's say Evan and DM, like, towards the top, did lose a little bit of time because they were on the same side. Evan was trying to climb up, and there just wasn't room where, like, DM couldn't hold on. So I get the concern there, but it just felt like so obviously the goated strategy. I don't know why they abandoned it.
100%. Mark is bleeding by the time that this is coming to an end. We see his leg with like blood running down it. It's like, well, you could have just done what everybody else did and it was working. And but okay. Also, have you clocked Rachel's beret?
I did not. I don't know. Was that just her hair? Like, I don't know.
Go back, or not go back, just in the next episode. I'm sure she'll still be wearing the beret in confessionals.
Oh, God.
She's I don't know, just some 2000 looks. It's it's interesting. But Landon and Brittany are going to be the winners here by about 11 seconds, I think exactly. They are going to be the deciding the order today. And already talked about this as well earlier, but same thing as Mark and Rachel. They're like, let's just stop trying to plan the whole thing out. Let's just pick our one team, Mark and Rachel, and let everybody figure it out from there.
It's just hard when you win so many times, and this is what, their third win, like, in very quick succession. Just so much pressure. Why would you want to keep doing this?
It's Landon's got to be feeling the heat. I mean, everyone's talking about him being such a threat. So we see Kim and Dunbar outside. They are off in, I'm not going to say it's the woods, but like, somewhere that the cameras can't really see them.
A wooded
Paula,
area.
yeah. Paula sees them though, because of course she does. And she screams out to them that she's calling Julie. Julie is Dunbar's girlfriend.
Just like, it's happening. Be cool. Like, I'm sorry. Like, oh, your friend's cheating. Like, are you actually gonna call Julie? Like, call Julie or don't. Like, do one of the two, because that's not what it is. It's just she's expressing her jealousy here, and it's really cringy.
you can't beat him, join him.
She should have gone in the woods.
Yeah. I think that would have been a firm no. I think she would have been sent right backwards, right turned around.
Interesting. I don't know. Dunbar might have been up for a threesome or a foursome.
Maybe once upon a time. I've heard tales. Dunbar is obviously, again, he has a girlfriend, so he's gonna be a little like hush husher about this. But Kim is like, yeah, we had a cute kiss, a cute little kiss.
Yeah, she's I think Dunbar can stop trying to hide it at the point where he's then continuing to lay under the covers on the couch with Kim, where he is looking like he is sending his wife off to war when she goes home. Like it is just like very obvious, Dunbar. I think you're being too obvious.
It's insane. But this is going to be a pretty big factor in this upcoming safety chain where just to cut ahead to the part that has to do with these three, the final male picked is ultimately Dunbar. And Dunbar is going to have to pick between, wouldn't you know, Paula and Kimberly. One of them he can save. The other one is going into elimination.
Paula gets so mad. Like, yeah, pick me. What are you doing? Stop it. Just pick me. Stop thinking. Just pick me. Like, oh my God. If you have to ask that many times.
She's like, if this idiot picks Kim over me, I will literally kill him. And I mean, do you think that if she hadn't been advocating for herself there, that he might have done the opposite?
Yes.
It's not a 0% chance.
That's what I'm saying. I think he might have. I think if I'm Paula, I would rather go into elimination than beg like this. Like usually I'm all like, like beg, grovel, play the game. But I'm like, this is embarrassing.
It really is. She's just, but she's saved, and who's going to go home here? Not Paula, but maybe Kimberly.
Maybe Kimberly.
Yeah, so she did everything she could in that moment, and Dunbar does pick Paula, which he also makes a point here that Paula would have picked Kimberly to go into elimination, which would have been really dumb for him because then he would have lost guaranteed one of them, at least in this scenario. Maybe one of them stays. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
Paula's petty as hell.
Kimberly could have picked Paula, but I guess she wasn't going to. Dunbar must have known that.
And maybe she should have.
I mean, truly, just for some peace in this house. The rest of the safety chain also resulted in Jen as the final woman picked, who picked Dunbar, obviously. But that sends Derek McRae into elimination. So as he was worried about, his time has just come to be at the bottom of the chain here. It's close between him and Dunbar. I don't know. At a moment's notice, it probably could have gone the other way. But Derek is like, it's only my second season. Other people have deeper friendships. And so it's my time to go in. And he's going to pick Big Easy here.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel like Easy's not like the most connected. There are a couple matchups that will favor Derek greatly, and I think he got relatively lucky, even if he didn't perform as well as I expected.
This was a crazy elimination. Are we ready to talk about it?
Let's do dual pole dancing, which I feel like they pushed first because they thought it would be the less exciting elimination.
Well, was it exciting, or was it just like, what the hell is going to happen here? So dual pole dancing, we've only seen it once before this season. So if you aren't watching, or if you forgot, there's a giant pole in the middle of the duel arena with it's basically like a rock wall that is just surrounding this cylinder pole, and both of you and your opponent need to climb up it, but along the way you're climbing the same pole, and so you can try to push, kick, whatever, your opponent off of it at any point. If you want to let them get high up and then pull them down and let them catch their breath while you start climbing, you can do that. If you want to try to climb at the same time, you can do that. But what happens when you have two big dudes both going up the same smaller pole and just can't make it up a foot off the ground without them knocking each other off intentionally?
Yeah, it is tough to watch at times, as it is just Eric continuously pulling off Derek kind of getting super winded, not letting Eric get any ground either. But it like Derek doesn't even have one handhold on before Eric is pushing him away from the pole.
I was just like, I don't know what their plans are, what their strategy is to like get an ending out of this. At some point, it was just going to be like somebody has to give up. And I do feel like it wasn't exactly that for Easy when he loses this. It was really like Derek kept, as soon as he got up, he was like, all right, I have to spider monkey climb my way up this to be as high up as possible so that he can't reach me, because he also needs to start climbing at a certain point. And Derek must have done that like 10 times before ultimately it works and he gets high enough up that he could just keep going as fast as possible and Easy couldn't get him anymore. But also, there might have been a little bit of like Easy was so exhausted and couldn't keep chasing him.
I would say that's firmly fair because at one point during this, they're just both taking a break, like waiting at the bottom until they can regain the energy. Evan like pokes some jokes at them. It is just an absolutely exhausted field at this point. Good for Derek for making it up. Not as decisive of a victory as I think he would have wanted, even if Big Easy's basically on the ground.
Right.
Derek wins.
And meanwhile, this is all happening. Evan can't make jokes about women, so he makes fat jokes about both of them. Because just Derek being a muscly man makes him qualified for those jokes from Evan. So that is that. Big Easy is gone here. A lot of his friends are sad to see him go because obviously over the past couple of seasons, he's made a lot of friendships with all of these people. Big Easy has 2 more seasons to go before All Stars, just 2, which feels like, just yesterday we were talking about he's at the beginning of a run of like 6. But his next season is not until 3 seasons from now.
Wow. A little bit of break.
Yeah. A big break for Big Easy.
Oh, well,
But we're not done just yet. So
not yet.
Not just yet. I mean, I don't remember exactly what comes next for Big Easy. I can remember one elimination. Actually, no, I can remember what happens on his final season too. It just all clicked for me. But I do feel like, it's hard to feel like the peak of Big Easy, which is not his personal highlight, but is, the final, obviously. So
yeah, I think my most fun ever with Big Easy is just the initial partnership of him and Katie.
Yeah.
It's not like the loudest edit he ever gets, but it's like it's how I like to remember him because there's less fun stuff to remember.
And he's gonna his career is gonna end. Well, obviously he comes back for All Stars, but his like main career is gonna end with her. And that weird ass Battle of the Seasons team. Ugh.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Not great.
Anyway,
not great.
This other elimination here is Kimberly versus Jen. Kim picked Jen. Did we say that earlier? That is who she selected as her opponent. They end up getting pushover. Jen, we haven't gotten much of a storyline for her in this episode besides Rachel being like, oh, well, we're close again, so I really hope she doesn't leave, which kind of had me feeling like this wasn't going to be Jen's time to go. And, it wasn't.
It was MJ's confessional was a little weird. Like I want Kim to stay because she has good energy versus Jen's weird. I don't know if I'm a lesbian or I'm straight energy. And I was like, okay, well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, Evan got a break from the misogynistic. So MJ could get a misogynistic and homophobic joke in.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So the two of them are going to face off in this obviously physical elimination pushover. Of course, you have to push your opponent off of the platform with these big foam pads that you have to push them. Jen got the first point pretty easily. She's just got a little bit of that extra oomph to her, and Kim was scared to death.
Yeah, Kim, not really the most physical competitor here. It feels like she has never done anything like this in her life. So very quickly folds the moment that Jen, who is physically smaller than her, just like breaks her in half.
Yeah. And then it happens again. She gets point number 2 as well. Kim is done and out. And look, I didn't know that I expected Kim, like I said, to get past the Ruthie elimination. So to make it this far, having gone in now this was her 3rd elimination this season, like not a bad showing.
It's a perfectly fine run for Kim. I did think it was very funny when she was cheering for Derek and looked like a soccer mom. I feel like Kim is just like the embodiment of a soccer mom. I'm sure that she is living her best life as one right now. But I don't know. Kim's fine. Like makes sense why she gets a second opportunity.
I mean, no, that is crazy. Like when you think of like the stereotypical like stock image of a soccer mom, a Karen, whatever, that's like it's Kim. It's just she looks the part.
Karen might be offensive, but I think that she had the haircut at an early age.
Very much so. Kimberly is back for one more season, and that is next season for one last season.
There you go.
Dunbar will also be with her on that next season, so I will be interested to see what happens there. Paula will not be.
Ooh. I think I'm ready to take a break from Paula, so that's good.
Well, you'll get one season off.
Phew.
But yeah, we'll see Kim and Dunbar or whatever happens next for the two of them, if anything. She's sad to go. Obviously, she feels like she did her best, and Dunbar is sad to be losing her as well. But the bigger story is back at the house. Paula, surprise, surprise, is making fun of Dunbar because his little girlfriend is gone.
Yeah, I just love poking at him because his girlfriend went home. It's like, just stop. Like, please stop. And it's like, stop making fun of him. Stop calling her his girlfriend when he has a girlfriend at home. Like, you are making this actively so much worse. Where, like, it would feel very deserved if Dunbar turned on Paula here and she had to, be upset about, oh my God, my friends always turn on me. Like, you kind of deserve this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Again, is Paula okay? I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
She's just really embarrassing herself to the people in the house, to Dunbar, to all of us watching at home. And that next season break that's coming, it's got to be extremely needed for like probably just her mental health to just kind of like breathe and reset and kind of get her head back on straight. Hopefully that is the case when she returns the season after that, but like it feels much needed. So
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Like, she came back after a big betrayal and was just not like ready to be here.
I mean, we all for different reasons. The betrayal is obviously what I'm sure has been weighing heavy on her. But in recent seasons, for any more recent fans of the show, there was a time period where Cara Maria was on like 100 seasons in a row, and Tori Deal's on 100 seasons in a row, and the fans are like, "You need to take a break. You are just not giving anything worthwhile right now. Not even like unobjectively, people can." Reasonably say that. And Paula is just, doing that stretch of challenges before anybody else. So,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Is it just me or
Okay.
are these eliminations all kind of boring?
Um, they're all lower mid tier. They're
Yeah.
not the worst,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all fine.
I keep waiting for them to like every time they pull the elimination, I'm like, maybe this is going to be a good one. And then it's just like, yep, Jen got Kim. Okay. Like the Ruthie and Kimberly one was a little exciting, but once it was like, okay, Ruthie's not going to catch up. And there was some intrigue in the Derek and Big Easy one because they couldn't get going. But like, I don't know, these aren't like that fun.
For sure. For sure. It's unfortunate, but they are like, just even the setups are kind of, less interesting versions of more fun eliminations we get other times.
Right. And then just for the confessional update here, we end episode 6 with Evan at the top of the board. Surprise, surprise. He's got 52 confessionals. Paula is below him with 46, a little bit of a gap there, followed by Kimberly, who goes out here in third place right now with 32. Then you have Derek and Big Easy with 24. But yeah, look at Kimberly, third place right now. She's not going to keep it, but
Yeah, you know what? Good to have had it ever.
can you believe that Tori of active players is at the bottom right now? I mean, that one episode wasn't even enough.
I'm not that shocked. I feel like it was a little bit from Tori's perspective, but mostly we get like Brad complaining about Tori.
Yeah. She's got 11 confessionals right now, which is currently below Siobhan, Katie,
Wow.
Ryan. Ryan's been gone the same amount of time as Siobhan, Nehemiah, Ruthie, Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, strangely, like the next lowest person is Dunbar, who got 10 confessionals in this episode. And if not for those 10 confessionals, he would have only 5 and be below everybody that's not Adam and CT.
Damn.
So Dunbar was MIA until this episode, as far as confessionals are concerned.
Okay. Well,
Bizarre.
not a great showing, but also, that's Dunbar.
Interesting stuff there. But all right, I think that's it for now. Anything else that we didn't get to on your list?
No, I'm excited for, part 4. Let's get into some more drama with the duel. I feel like the duel has been a good solid season.
Yeah, I mean, it's like solid standard challenge to me, which is not a bad thing because some seasons are the island. So I'll take this. We are both starting up a new project. If you're listening to this podcast in real time rather than like catching all the episodes later, we're going to be watching The Traitors season 1. US season
Ooh.
1. So instead of House of Villains, which is recently wrapped up, we're going to be doing another kind of rewatch podcast like we're doing over here. We're watching The Traitors, so check that out if you are so inclined. Of course, also check out everything we have going on Patreon, patreon.com/The Free Agents Podcast. Bonus episodes every week. Everything goes up there early and ad free. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Scally is currently talking about a couple of shows over on RHAP.
I am talking about Million Dollar Secret with Chappelle. Been a very, very fun set of episodes. The people should definitely go check that out. Had Rob join us for the premiere week. Definitely, I thought it was so fun. I think Million Dollar Secret has been great. So go check that out. And then myself and Kirsten are talking about Love Island Beyond the Villa, which has been messy. These people definitely want to be on TV. So go check that out over on the We Know Love Island podcast. Otherwise, you can find everything I'm doing on all socials, and I'll post about it there.
Sounds good. Find me as well, of course, on the Diary Room podcast, talking every week with Aman about all things Big Brother. Recently just had Brittany Haynes on. We had Brenchel on. We've had a lot of fun episodes with plenty more fun to come over there. Check out the Free Agents Millennial TV feed for myself and AJ and Mary talking about some nostalgic shows from our childhood if you're interested in all that. But otherwise, we'll be back next week with part 4 of our coverage of the Duel. Said this at the top, but or the top of I think part 1. But this is going to be a 5-parter, our first 5-parter of a challenge season. So we'll get into the next 2 episodes in part 4, and then close out the season in part 5 of our Duel 2 coverage. So keep an eye out for that. Until next time, take care, and we hope to see you all in the future.